Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight for our Village of Alsip board meeting. Today's Monday, November 17th, 2025. We'll call this meeting order at 7:30 p.m. Can you call the roll, please?
Trustee Dalzell is absent. Trustee McLaughlin? Here. Trustee Murphy?
Here.
Trustee Parada?
Here.
Trustee Cahill? Here. Trustee Love?
Here.
Mayor Ryan?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Before we go to our reports, I wanted to ask everybody, trustees, just want to ask you a quick question. I did get the other day, I got just a membership invoice. We have a membership with the IML, the Illinois Municipal League. Just want to make sure, is everybody getting their magazine every month? Do you guys get that?
Not recently, but I have been.
Okay.
I mean, I get it sporadically.
See, the clerk just told me the same thing, so I'll find out what's going on with that. I just want to make sure if everybody wants to keep the magazine subscription, it's $30 each, but it's for the entire year. You know, so did you want to trust? Did you? I'll just take a quick poll. Did you want to keep that?
I would like to keep it.
Yeah, Trustee Cahill.
I would like to start it, yeah.
Okay. I know you're new. You guys, both you guys, you just came on a couple months ago. So, how about over here? You want
Yes.
IML magazine?
Yes.
Okay, very good. All right, so I'm going to have my assistant Becky Smith. She'll take care of this tomorrow, but we'll make sure everybody gets a magazine. Chief, do you get one of these too? You do? Good. Okay. All right, so we'll take care of that tomorrow, and then I'll tell you, instead of me spending some time typing all this out, I'll just share with you. We just had our at the end of it was 2 weeks ago. We had our monthly department head meeting, our staff meeting, and certainly I encouraged all of the department heads to apply for grant opportunities whenever they see opportunities to do so. Chief Szynski, thanks. I saw your message today. You got a small equipment grant in?
Correct. That's what we applied for.
For the State Fire Marshal?
Yeah, to replace our gear washer at Station 2. The machine died. It was from 2006, and to replace our dryer also.
So it's to wash all your bunker gear and all that stuff? Well, that's a heavy-duty wash machine then, huh?
Yeah, it's almost like having an extractor that you see at the laundromat, very
Okay.
similar to it.
And what do you think that grant, how much do you think we'll get for that grant, if we get it?
Almost 21,000.
21,000? Very good, okay.
So.
And then and then last week we had 2 classes of school kids that came in from across the street at Lane School. So we had the 2nd and 3rd graders come in every year just to introduce them to the Village Hall. They get a quick tour of the police station next door. 11/6 at the beginning of the month, Eisenhower High School celebrated its 75th anniversary, and they unveiled the new field house facility, so congratulations to them. Obviously, last week, 11/11, the village commemorated Veterans Day, at Veterans Plaza at 118th and Pulaski. We made some speeches out there and joined for some fellowship back at the VFW post on 118th and Cicero. My assistant Becky Smith is recruiting a couple of people from every department to start putting up holiday decorations right now, and I appreciate all the department heads, if they're listening to this right now, to get 2 of your personnel each. We've had volunteers over the last couple of years too. We've actually had volunteers from Park Lawn and Sertoma come over and help decorate the Village Hall, and we're going to put up our Christmas tree and all that. We are closed at the end of this month on Thanksgiving Day and the day after here at the Village Hall. Our tree lighting ceremony will be December 1st at 6 p.m. here, like we do traditionally every year. We'll have all the Girl Scouts out here to sing Christmas carols, light the tree, Santa Claus makes a visit, and then typically we'll get a donation of hot chocolate from Eggman's Restaurant, and hopefully wonderful chocolate chip cookies homemade from the Doubletree Hotel. We talked about, with the police department, about SNAP updates. Fortunately, nationally in the last week or so, We're seeing that the SNAP has been somewhat resolved, so we're looking for that because we're keeping extra attention on food pantries to make sure everything was conducted safely at the food pantries. Fire department, Chief, we were just, you were on a call, you had something going on, but we talked about, I was going to ask, maybe you can just tell everybody right now, how's everything going with the training on the new tower ladder?
Good. We're hoping to have it in service by the first week of December.
Okay,
And then we should also be taking delivery of our new ambulance within the next 2 weeks also.
okay. And then, that's all I had. Hey, did you take delivery of the donated pickup truck?
Yes. So it's gone in for the plow, it's gone in for the timing gate, then it'll get the lights on it next.
Okay,
So hopefully we have that around second week of December with everything on. It depends on the vendor for the lighting.
you going to bring in the donor, we can thank him?
Oh, yes, yeah, we're gonna do a whole presentation, pictures and everything. So
Okay.
as soon as we get everything back, we'll arrange that with them.
Very good. You going to bring them here to the board meeting?
I'm not sure what we're going to do yet. I'm
Okay.
not sure. Depends on what they're going to want to do also. So
Okay.
sometimes they're kind of funny about stuff like that.
All right, well, let us know, Chief, okay?
Right. Also, I was at the ribbon cutting for Eisenhower. Awesome facility, state of the art. Our tax money went to a really good purpose there. What they did over it. So
I was looking, unfortunately, my dad passed away that day, and I had to travel to go be with my family, but, yeah, I was really happy for the school and all that kind of.
yeah, I know they're doing one at Shepherd right now. So if it's close to the same, it's amazing.
So I attended with Chief Miller, Police Chief Miller, last week. We were at 98th and Central, and our 911 dispatch is building a new building over there. Currently, they've been positioned inside the Oak Lawn Village Hall, but they're expending their own monies on a new public works facility at that location, but they're also going to put next to it, they're going to put the new 911 communication out there. And they had a real nice turnout with all the municipalities that they dispatch for, so there's probably about 8, 9 towns out there. The mayors, all the police and fire chiefs and all that kind of thing were out there too, so.
Yeah, unfortunately, I missed it. It was.
I know, you got laid up with something the
Yeah.
other day on that, yeah. And then, Public Works, Mike, there you are, Mike, thank you. Mike, you had said all your trucks are ready for snow plowing? Yes. Okay. And we have to, I just paid one check. I reimbursed somebody today for a CDL license, but do you got more people going to get CDL licenses? Okay. Do you need any more hires? How's your staffing?
We're down one guy.
You're down one. Do you got applications?
So we received a couple applications that just got open to the public on Friday, so.
Okay, so that just went to the public on Friday. If you know anybody looking for a job, but we're looking to hire somebody in the Public Works Department. Okay, very good. And we obviously, we supply the training. The board was good enough to agree to that. We'll get you a CDL license for a class, Mike, Class B. So it's just a straight job that we'll pay for a CDL license for. And then the water department, he did say his staffing is okay for right now. And he's got training rather scheduled for his department as well. And then the building department, Roger, you had said that James Godet's working out real well, our new health inspector. And Raj, do we start advertising for the part-time code enforcement officer yet? Not at this time. Okay, so let me know. I'll give you a hand with that then too. Okay, and then that's all we have. The clerk's office, everything's going well over there, and then we're looking forward. My assistant Becky Smith. The village of Alsip is going to be celebrating 100 years of as a village in May 7th of 2027. So we are putting together a committee to help organize some ideas, kind of control expenditures and whatnot then too, but certainly we want to do this with dignity and really acknowledge the village was incorporated May 7th of 1927. So we're going to be celebrating 100 years as a village this coming May 27th of 27. And then HR just went through the wellness program that they conducted last month. So rather than me typing all that, trustees, you guys got the verbal version right here and stuff then too. So first on your agenda this evening was on my report, was the approval for advertising a RFP, that's request for proposal, for scavenger services for the Village of Alsip, commencing January 1st of 2027 through December 31st of 2031. It's a 5-year contract for garbage collection, and while it certainly would be too much to read into the record everything that's in that RFP, it does include e-waste. So like right now, there's a marginal cost for it, but like once a month, anybody that's having their garbage picked up by, at this time it's Republic Services, is allowed to dispose of e-waste once a month. You have to call there and let them know, and sometimes they'll send a special truck out to pick up the e-waste and stuff then too, but that's a great benefit they have. So again, this contract ends December 31st of 2026. I'm doing this about a year in advance. If the board wants to solicit for new pricing, because a lot of times to make this real competitive, any other garbage company that wants to bid on something like this needs at least a year to get numbers together, because you've got 5,300 stops that they make, and every house has at least three or four garbage cans, it seems like. So they'd have to make up 15 or 20,000 garbage cans just to facilitate whatever takes place here. My argument last week, not even an argument, but my point I was making last week in committee was the increases that they proposed in their contract. They've got until September of next year to agree to, but the increases were, for the next 3 years, would have been 65 cents, 67 cents, and 69 cents, respectively, for the next 3 years, just for garbage collection. Sometimes we could risk that number going higher to go out to RFP, depending on where the market is right now. So this is up to you folks. I vote in the event of a tie, but the reason I'm saying is we have a lot of students in the audience tonight. I want to let them know there's a lot going on here. Right now, last year we spent almost 1.3 million having garbage collected last year in this village. That's a big contract, and this is something really worth talking about. Yeah, we want to make sure we're paying a fair price for services, but then, too, you got to watch what you wish for sometimes, because you might have a good deal in front of you. So I just wanted the board to evaluate that concept.
Mayor, excuse me, could you explain, it wasn't really clear last week how you had stated how both parties had to agree to a number and what that was. Was that the existing the existing contract, or is it the contract moving forward? It wasn't really clear on that.
So they have the option of, it has to be by mutual agreement. So our attorney, Beth Blood, looked over our current agreement, and what it says is by September of 26, by mutual agreement, we can agree to a 3-year extension.
Okay.
But they've got until September to make that agreement. If, like, that's what I was saying, you kind of run the gamut right now. If you solicit pricing early, and let's just say, we're giving them 3 months to submit these numbers. So let's say, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but let's just say by February, we get these numbers back, and they're $1 more than what they are right now, but they're still lower than everybody else. There's no reason for them to agree to an even lower price, because, we'd have to agree to the best price that was solicited. And they've got until September to do that, and they probably, I don't think they would give us a hard time over it, but they would still be in their best interest to let us run to September and agree to these numbers. But certainly it's got to be by mutual agreement. This isn't just us saying this is what we'll take. And there's always that chance maybe we do save money. Maybe we get another company that comes out and says, hey, again, this is public knowledge, so I'm not sharing any trade secrets. If you ask for a FOIA here, because we are a public entity, if you students are getting this in school, it's called FOIA, it's Freedom of Information Act. You can ask any village for information on that, and let's say competitors can know what we're paying to raise. So there's no hiding these numbers. This is public information, that kind of thing yet too. So we're not hiding anything from anybody, but the competitors will know where your number stands. Is that right, Mike? Yes. Okay. So, that's all. That's the only point I want to make on that. Next, we'll go to our clerk's report. Clerk Harding?
Thank you, Mayor. I have the approval of the October 2025 FOIA report, approval of the November 3rd, 2025 board meeting minutes, and the presentation and approval of the November 10th, 2025 committee meeting minutes. And that was all I had, Mayor.
All right, thank you. Next, we have our attorney's report. We have Mike Kanker with us. Mike?
No report, sir.
All right. We'll go to our engineer's report. I know he told me he had another commitment tonight, Mike. You had his report for him?
Yeah, so we just had the recommendation to award the Alsip 2025 sanitary sewer cured-in-place pipelining project, National Power Rotting, for the bid amount of $344,000.
So National Power Rotting was the lowest bidder for that,
Correct.
Mike? And I know we get, what do we have, like 6 bids on it?
I believe there
I think we had 4 or 5.
4.
4? Okay.
Yep,
And were they the lowest bid?
they were the lowest bid, yes.
Okay. And then, real quick, Mike, what is cured-in-place pipelining?
So that's it's essentially like a sock that goes into the sewer line, and then they expand it, and then it hardens in place, taking shape of the pipe. So it's done where pipes are broken or deteriorated, and it gives it another 50 to
Little more
60 year
life.
lifetime, yeah.
Nice. Okay. I've seen their work plenty of times. They're a good company.
Right.
Okay.
And then just for the benefit, they're going to be doing work in the David Estates subdivision again. We expect that work will probably be completed in the spring of 2026.
Okay. Yeah, when are they going to start this, anyway?
We don't have the exact start date yet because we haven't had the pre-construction meeting, but the contract calls that they're done sometime in spring of 2026.
That's what I figured. Stuff's got to thaw for them to get into the pipes. Okay. Very good. Thanks, Mike. Next, we have a public forum. Did anyone in the audience wish to address the board tonight? No? All right. We'll go to our standing committee reports. We'll start with Finance and IT. Trustee McLaughlin?
Thank you, Mayor. First, I have a request for approval of a list of payroll dated November 14th of 2025, totaling $525,342.17. Next, I have a list of accounts payable dated November 17th. From the recap, General Fund, $219,175.99. Road and Bridge, $168,835.50. Storm Sewer, $1,454.85. MFT, $7,007.95. Pulaski TIF, $4,987.75. Water and Sewer, $21,339.18. Sanitary Sewers, $15,862.92. Heritage Complexes, $37,527.47, for a grand total all funds of $476,191.61. And that is all I have under finance this evening, Mayor.
All right, thank you. Next, we have the Fire Committee report. Trustee Cahill?
Thank you, Mayor. First, I have the presentation and approval to purchase one gas tracked LZ30. 3 quotes were received. AFC was the lowest quote of $13,865.31. Next, the presentation and approval of the October 2025 monthly activity report based on our National Fire Incident Reporting System. Also, the presentation and approval of the October 2025 Fire Prevention Bureau report. Next, the presentation and approval to purchase a Seagrave pumper at a cost not to exceed the bidded amount. Seagrave was one of 2 bidders, and the vendor to meet the majority of specifications as written. Next, the request to approve holiday pay in the amount of $70,568.80 as per the collective bargaining contract. The request to approve to pay the first half of the shift commander and assistant shift commander in the amount of $4,125 as per the collective bargaining contract. And last, the request to approve the pay the educational stipend of $16,975 as per the collective bargaining contract. And that is all I had, Mayor.
All right, thank you. Hey, just a couple quick notes. Again, we got a lot of students in the room, and I appreciate everybody coming out tonight. What the trustee was just talking about under number 1, where you have the gas track unit that the fire department wants to purchase. Chief, that's a carbon monoxide detector, right?
No, it's for combustible gas.
Combustible
especially,
gas, sorry.
Compressed natural gas for the vehicle, so we can do it from a safe distance and not up close.
Okay. Okay, so I said carbon, but it's combustible gas
Yep.
detection that we can do for up to like 100 feet
100
away,
feet, yes.
so nobody gets hurt.
Correct.
If everybody saw that video that came out not too long ago about that garbage truck that blew up wherever it was,
Arlington Heights,
that was compressed gas, right?
right.
Okay.
And it happened in Los Angeles about a year and a half ago. They responded for a truck fire, didn't know it was CNG, and they ended up 9 firefighters were injured.
Wow. And then the other, what the trustee alluded to, or spoke to, I mean, is the Seagrave, that's a fire truck.
Correct.
That's just a brand on a fire truck, so everybody knows what that is. And then again, with the stipends that are being paid for the ship commanders and the educational, those are costs that we have in the contracts with the fire department. If they have certain degrees, could be associate degrees, bachelor degrees. There's over 36 people sharing these costs here. We do that for an incentive for different departments. So, thank you. Next, we have the Police and Traffic Safety Committee.
Thank you, Mayor. I have a request for approval of an ordinance amending Chapter 19, Traffic and Motor Vehicles, Article 8, Seizure and Impoundment of Motor Vehicles, Section 19-135, Definitions, and Section 19-136, Motor Vehicles Subject to Seizure and Impoundment of the Municipal Code of the Village of Alsip. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. And again, what all that meant, ladies and gentlemen, was we're adding a couple of other, I won't get into this, the last week in committee, Trustee Dalzell read everything into it, but there's got to be about 26 different reasons a car can be impounded, and we're adding 2 more reasons to that particular list. Next is the Public Work and Boat Launch Report. Trustee Cahill.
Thank you, Mayor. I have the approval of the Public Works Department October 2025 monthly activity report, and that is all I had this evening.
Okay, thank you. Sewer and Water, Trustee Love.
Thank you, Mayor. I have the approval of the Water Department October 2025 monthly activity report. Some highlights from that report: got 148 Brycer reports reviewed, 1 water main break occurred, 341 utility locates were completed. There's 141,592,000 gallons of water billed in October, and water-only revenue generated for the month was $1,270,689.83. And that's all I have for this evening.
We actually, just so everybody knows too, we actually purchase water right from the city of Chicago. We supply that water not only for Alsip residents, but for Crestwood and Palos Heights at the same time. And I tell you, I sign all those checks, but it's like, there's almost a good $750,000 per month that we buy in water.
I kind of hesitate every time that I click
Yeah, I know.
that
I'm
button
like,
to
man,
approve
is this
those.
right? Yeah. So, thank you. Next, we have the Building and Health Report. Trustee Peretta.
Thank you, Mayor. I have a request for approval of the October 2025 Building Department monthly activity report. And in the month of October, there was 124 permits issued. The amount collected, including inspector fees, was $73,314.25. And the estimated cost of construction is valued at $6,200,101. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Well, that's great. Thank you. Next, Human Resource and Insurance. Trustee Murphy.
Thank you, Mayor. I have the approval to renew property and casualty insurance, also to approve and renew medical, dental, and vision insurance, and that's all I have, sir.
So I do have the health insurance in front of me. We are self-insured here in the village of Alsip, and basically we pay the first $70,000 of every claim that's made against our insurance. And we had a great report last week from our insurance agent saying our claims are down, which is great, and our insurance is being increased by about 7.6%. Typically, it's 9% that way, so we're doing a little bit better than the normal. But that insurance on our side of it is still going to be increased by about $320,000 next year. That's our anticipated spend, is what the trend points to. But that's where the increase goes on to right now. But I'm happy to report only a 7.6% increase. Last year, like I said, it was 8.9%. So we did well with the claims this year and stuff then too. Hopefully that continues. and the property and casualty insurance went up by like 2.7%, so it wasn't too bad either. Next, we have our special committee reports, economic development, trustee Love.
Nothing for this evening, Mayor.
Trustee, we've got a meeting tomorrow morning. I can't say the name out loud yet because we don't have a deal inked yet. I'll get back to you and let you know how things went. Roger, you're going to be with us 11 o'clock tomorrow? Very good. Okay. Got a nice retail business coming to town, so we're going to talk to them. Next, we have our village properties report. Trustee McClawhorn.
Thank you, Mayor. First, I have a request for approval of the September 2025 monthly activity report, and then I also have approval of the October 2025 monthly activity report. At the end of October, just for informational purposes, at Heritage 1, we had a total of 3 apartments available for rent and 2 additional units in the remodel process. And at Heritage 2, at the end of October, we have a total of 4 apartments ready to go, available for rent, with an additional 9 models in the process of being rehabbed. And that's all I have this evening, Mayor.
That's great. So we have 7 available apartments, more or less, between 2 complexes?
That are currently available for rent, yes.
Sounds good. So
Ready to go.
again, what the trustee's speaking to is the Village of Alsip owns, they purchased these back in 1990, but we've got 29 buildings for folks that are 55 and older. There's 512 apartments, and they're really in wonderful condition. But that when somebody moves out, we actually rehab them, and are a great place to live in, too. But they have only 7 vacancies and 512 units. That's great. Good to hear. Next, we have the ordinance legislation report. Trustee Prada.
Thank you, Mayor. No agenda this evening.
All right. Thank you. Planning and zoning and licenses. Trustee Murphy.
Thank you, Mayor. I have approval of an ordinance of the Village of Alsip granting a special use permit and variations from Chapter 3, Advertising, Article 2, Signs, Section 3-27 and Section 3-30 of the Municipal Code of the Village of Alsip to allow the use and operation of an LED double-faced advertising sign billboard on the property located at 5307 West 124th Street, Alsip, Illinois. Next, I have the approval of a list of licenses in review dated October 27th, 2025 through November 7th, 2025. And that's all I have, sir.
All right. Thank you. I wanted to look at something here real quick. The Mr. Lupo? Hey, Chris, do you have a second? Hey, could you come up, please? I just wanted to make sure we didn't, and I apologize, I didn't probably call you sooner. Did anybody talk to you? Chris, thanks for, Chris is what Lamar signed.
Yes.
You had proposed a possible ladder shield, so folks couldn't climb up on your billboard, right? I know, no, you gave it to me.
Does everybody have that? Yes.
Okay.
I don't actually.
Oh, I'm
You
sorry.
weren't here last
Trustee wasn't here last week. So,
Thank you.
Mr. Lupo, I wanted to just be clear, when we drafted this ordinance, before we approve it, I don't want to pull any punches here and stuff, but we, staff went back to listen to the Plan Commission hearing that you attended, and originally, I just want to make sure what the board wants to agree with, and this way you're here too, is installing an 8-foot fence, security fence with 1 layer of barbed wire at the top is what the ordinance says, but you proposed a shield. So I wanted to make sure with the board that we're not agreeing on one thing. I just want to make sure, what are you good with?
Well, originally, that's what they proposed and asked if we had any issues with that. I said I didn't think so. So, I went back to our operations manager and talked with him, and he had mentioned that fences, especially with, the barbed wire and this and that, can create a lot of problems as well. Collection of leaves, collection of snow, and, having people trying to go up on top of the fence and then jumping up on top of the sign. So the better alternative was to use this
The ladder shield.
ladder Pro Shield.
Right.
And basically it covers the ladder rungs so that nobody could possibly even attempt to go up on top of the sign.
Right. So I want to make sure, trustees, I liked the equipment Mr. Lupo presented. The whole idea, ladies and gentlemen, too, is what they're talking about is putting up, this is a billboard that's right near 294, and it's one of those LED billboards that'll keep changing, so it's an electronic billboard. Those are so expensive. You got to protect these things so nobody tries to climb up
Right.
and possibly deface it or hurt it, break it, whatever. But I just want to make sure we have an agreement here. I know you talked about a fence at the Plan Commission hearing before I came here, and they recommended yes. When you spoke with us last week, I didn't know until I read the transcript that it was, you proposed something different when you came in here. I just want to make sure, are you okay with the fence that they proposed, or board, are you okay with the shield for the ladder that Mr. Lupo proposed?
I'd be okay with the ladder shield.
The ladder shield. You know what, before we do this, and it should be for the record too, Madam Clerk, can you take a, pull the board real quick and ask either a ladder shield or a fence going around?
Mayor, if I may,
Yes.
what the building department would recommend is both.
Both?
Correct.
Okay, why is that?
Just to make sure that nobody gets up onto the sign and into that designated area.
What's the and I'm just asking the question, what's the probability of, how often does it happen that somebody goes up on one of these billboards?
I don't know that something
Chris,
that
would you know?
would be able to,
Never, really.
Yeah, okay.
but
Because we put the shield on there, and we do have the ladder rungs, 15, 20 feet in the air. So it doesn't allow a person to do that unless they're walking around or bringing a ladder with them.
Right.
So even if they came with a ladder and hooked it onto the bottom rung of the ladder access, they couldn't access the sign because the shield would prevent them to go any higher than the first rung.
Okay. So what Mr. Lupo is saying is, everyone's familiar with the typical billboard. You got a big pole that goes up, and you got the ladder that starts at some point so you can climb up onto it. This shield, it actually covers that ladder so that you couldn't, like as you said, Chris, even if you got up to it, it's
And it's
8 feet of shield. You're not going to crawl over that in any capacity
Absolutely.
to
There's
keep
no,
going.
there's no way they'd be able to do it. It's a better and safer means of protecting
All right.
the access to the sign.
And Raj, what was your point of the fence?
just to secure it so that nobody does get access to it.
Does it make it?
It's going to have power at the base of it.
Yeah.
So this connector there, people could go out there and tamper with it, which is why the building department would require or request.
So you got a power service box then too, Mr. Lupo, within that perimeter right there next to the sign?
There's a Commonwealth Edison would install a meter.
Okay. All right.
Well, the question is, I mean, because we have multiple billboards in town, I'm not aware of 8-foot security fences around the others.
I'm not either, Chris. Is
Correct.
that popular?
It's not.
Okay. And you certainly you run the risk of anything getting
Now,
damaged. This is on you.
this is a question I would ask you guys because I'm not familiar with the property. The digital billboards you guys have on village property, the water tower?
Yeah.
Is what kind of fence?
Those are secured by, those do have secured fencing because we've got interest in our water being in there. So, yeah, nobody can get into a secured water tower area.
The other issue is where they're going to place the sign, there is heavy truck traffic right at the end. You want to secure that pole so that a semi doesn't get that close to the pole.
Fencing's probably cheaper than ballards.
Yep. But at least they're going to get that close to it and then have to make that swing into the dock area.
Okay. All right. In other words, Mr. Lupo, I just didn't want to, I didn't want to mix one for the other. You had shown us one thing, and when I saw the transcript, it said fencing, and which is what we kept in this ordinance. So obviously,
This was a better alternative than the fencing. We really don't want anybody climbing on top of the fence and then using the fence as a catapult to get up onto the sign.
yeah. All right. Mike, I defer to you. You were at the meeting as well, too. Does it make a difference which way we go with this?
No, I mean, I
The
put that in
liability,
there
I would
because,
think,
what's
is,
that?
I would think the liability is on the sign company in this case.
Yeah, I mean, but, well, it's safe, I mean, Roger, I think is safe. I just put in there what Roger said at the plan commission meeting. I have no, it's up to the board to decide what's best to do.
Okay, well,
If the village would want us to put, maybe 3 or 4 ballards around the sign poles, so, to help protect it for any semis to, backing up or whatever, that would work on our end as well.
okay. Yeah, Raj, I don't want to drift too far from what the recommendation was. I don't want to redo this whole thing. It's just that we interpreted 2 different modes of security for it, being fencing, but like,
recommendation was for the 8-foot fence with barbed wire.
okay,
Is what the planning and zoning board authorizing, that was the stipulation from the planning and zoning.
okay. Well then, respectfully, Mr. Lupo, I'd like to just honor what was agreed to then at the plan commission hearing, okay? That was the fence that went around. If you want to, incorporate the ladder shield, that's certainly up to you. But we are concerned with just, I guess, the fencing down below. Okay, okay. Everybody okay with that? Okay.
Yes.
All right, thanks, Chris. Okay. All right, very good. And then, moving along, we had Trustee Murphy, did you say number 2 about the licenses and all that?
I did.
Okay, thank you. Trustees, does anybody have any presentations, petitions, or communications you wanted to share? None? Did anyone want to remove anything from the consent agenda?
I would like to remove letter I, Mayor.
Aye, okay. Anybody else?
Mayor, I'd like to pull letter A for a separate vote, please.
Okay. Very good. Anybody else? All right. Can I ask then for a motion to establish the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call number 1 to establish consent agenda. Trustee Dalzell is absent. Trustee McLaughlin?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Trustee Parada?
Yes.
Trustee Cahill?
Yes.
Trustee Love?
Yes.
Motion carries to establish consent agenda.
Thank you. Can I get a motion then to approve the consent agenda as presented?
Motion?
I'll make the second.
All right, item M, approval of an ordinance amending Chapter 19, Traffic and Motor Vehicles, Article 8, Seizure and Impoundment of Motor Vehicles, Section 19-135, Definitions, and Section 19-136, Motor Vehicles subject to seizure and impoundment of the Municipal Code of the Village of Alsip will now be known as Ordinance 2025-11-2. And item P, approval of an ordinance of the Village of Alsip granting a special use permit and variations from Chapter 3, Advertising, Article 2, Signs, Section 3-27N and Section 3-30C of the Municipal Code of the Village of Alsip to allow the use and operation of an LED double-faced advertising sign billboard on the property located at 5307 West 124th Street in Alsip, Illinois, will now be known as Ordinance 2025-11-3. Roll call, number 2 to approve consent agenda. Trustee Dalzell is absent. Trustee McLaughlin?
I would like to vote no to letter P and yes to all others.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Trustee Parada?
Yes.
Trustee Cahill?
Yes.
Trustee Love?
Yes.
Motion carries to approve consent agenda.
Very good, thank you. Let's go back to a couple items that were pulled from the agenda. We'll start with letter A. This was the approval for advertising an RFP, that's request for proposal for scavenger services for the Village of Alsip commencing January 1st, 2027 through December 31st, 2031. I know Trustee Parada pulled this, but before we consider this, talking about this, did anyone wish to make a motion and approve this particular item the way it's written, the way it stands? Nobody? All right, then I'll go back and I'll take questions. Trustee Parada, you had pulled it. Did you have a question about this item?
Yeah, so I did some homework, and I went back in the archives, and I pulled up some information, and mainly I did that because we have 2 new trustees, and I want them to be informed on what transpired back then for these proposals. So in comparison, first of all, we only had two contractors respond for these RFPs, and as you can see, the first contract ended in December 31st of 21, okay? So Republic Services came back with a proposal for a 5-year agreement, and as you can see in comparison, and please don't mention the name of the other contractor out of respect and consideration for them, but the numbers the disparity in numbers is quite different. I mean, we're not even in the same ballpark. So for example, in 2022, we were paying $19.25 per month per resident. Now, our current contract's going to expire in 2026. We do have a 3-year option, and I want you to realize that Republic gave us a 3% increase every year of this contract, while the other company was proposing a 4% increase. Okay? Now, I'm bringing this up because I think we really do have a great deal, and I don't want to be redundant on mentioning things that the mayor just talked about in the beginning of our meeting this evening, but one thing that struck my eye, now if you look at the 3rd year of our option in 2029, the people of our residents in our village are going to be paying $23.67. Now, I want you to look, that is even cheaper, it's even lower than the year of 2022, what the other company was proposing at $30.05. Now, I think, in my opinion, this 3-year option is a great deal, and I think the odds are very low that somebody's going to come in and beat that. So I would like to propose, in my opinion, to go ahead and go for that 3-year option at 65 cents increase, which is only 3% in 2027, and 67 cents for 2028, and an increase of 69 cents in 2029, and accept that. So that's why I pulled this for a separate vote.
Understood. Any other questions or comments on this matter? All right. Is there a motion, after hearing Trustee Paredes' comments, is there a motion to approve, as it stands on your agenda, a motion to approve advertising an RFP for scavenger services for the Village of Alsip commencing January 1st, 2027 through December 31st, 2031. Is there a motion and a second to take this action? None? All right, then motion dies for lack of a I'm sorry, the item dies for lack of a motion. Thank you. Next, the item I, this was the approval to purchase a new Seagrave pumper, again, that's a fire truck, at a cost not to exceed the bidded amount. Seagrave was one of 2 bidders. Seagrave was the vendor to meet the majority of specific specifications. Chief, what was the price on that, too? Because we don't have a number on this.
$1,073,000 and change. I mentioned it last week what it was, and that also because of the performance bond and the discount if we were going to do the prepayment, as we kind of talked about.
Okay, so that's fine. So you get about $1,073,000, almost 1.1 is where we're at to replace the fire truck.
That's correct.
And again, for the benefit of the public, Chief, we're replacing a reserve fire truck that's a 2006?
Yes.
Okay.
So by the time this is constructed, the oldest engine will be 23 years old.
Okay, so it's a 2006 fire truck, and this is a reserve
It's
piece of
reserved right now.
apparatus right now? Okay. I just read that into the record. Was there a motion and a second to approve this item as it stands? None. Trustee McLaurin, you had pulled this. Shirley, did you have questions? Do you want to make a comment?
Well, I pulled it for further discussion or debate. I mean, specifically, my concerns on the topic are purely financial in terms of the fact that, I mean, one, the county sent out the tax bills late. Who knows when we're actually going to start collecting that revenue. Two, the board has not actually seen financials related to where we stand right now to understand the feasibility of this purchase at this time, especially in light of the nearly $2 million fire truck purchase that we just made and are still contemplating how we're funding that one with the potential of, selling bonds. So I don't think the timing is correct at this point in time to commit to another $1.1 million.
I will say I did consult with our finance consultant to ask, as at last week's meeting, the chief had mentioned, had we prepaid for the apparatus, we could save $150,000, $170,000
correct.
if we were to prepay. Under advice,
Still prepaying $1 million.
right? But under advice of our finance consultant, we would, even though we would be paying a so-called higher number, the chief, which just fill in the gaps, Chief, you were saying it'll take 3.5 years to even build this truck.
42 months. Well, minimum of 42 months.
No,
Everything goes
so
on.
this could be 4 years
You're
to
almost
build a
looking
fire
at
truck.
4 years away, correct.
So in the 4 years of putting that 1.1 million, even in our account, as opposed to giving $1 million to the company, the return on investment would be huge. And when it's collectively put with other investments that we have, we would make more than enough money to cover this and stuff yet too, with us earning interest instead of them.
Right.
So financially, we're okay in that regard because we've got 4 years to save up. I think the trustees shares I'll share the same thoughts as, and I know, Chief, it's difficult. I actually did look it up, and just again for the benefit of the public all the time, an active frontline apparatus should be replaced every 15 years. A reserve, and I got this from the National Fire Protection Association, the NFPA. It says reserve apparatus should be replaced every 25 years is what you're shooting for.
Correct.
We're a little bit premature of that because the truck that we want to replace is an 06. So we're roughly 19 years into it now. I get it. An extra 4 years, you'd be about 24 years. Maybe we're a year.
Plus, we see where maintenance costs are, and again, that's on an average of calls. And if something like we have that one engine that's going to go in for service next week, that reserve engine fills in for it. So it's going to run just as many calls for that period of time.
Right, and I get it. Apparatus is expensive.
It's going to keep going up and up.
We just received a pumper a year and a half ago.
Yep.
That was $870,000. We just got just a couple of months ago, we just got a new tower ladder that was almost $2 million. And then we have a new ambulance coming in, like you said, next month, maybe.
Right, and we have to look out bidding out the next ambulance
Right.
Springtime of next year.
So I'm saying we're at about $3.3 million within 3 years of spending.
But, yeah,
Almost 2 years, actually.
2 years, right.
Of spending. We spent $3.3 million in 2 years. So I'm just doing back-of-the-envelope math, trustee, but is that kind of where you're going at with this? Right, okay. So obviously, ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to vote on or not here, it sounds, but it's to order a new fire truck that it probably won't receive for almost 4 years, correct, Chief?
Correct.
Gotcha, okay. At a cost of almost $1.1 million, and that's what we're discussing here.
Right, and on an average, it goes up about 6% every year for a new apparatus.
Gotcha.
That's providing everything goes good.
Okay. Trustees, before I ask the question again, anybody else have any comments, any questions?
I would like to reconsider this next year. I think that's fair. I think financially, hopefully things will be better. Return on,
Investment.
production time is high. It may get longer. The price is going to go up, so I just don't want to see us in a spot where we're stuck making an emergency purchase either in the future if we had to. So I would like to revisit this next year if possible.
So right now, Chief, we've got 2 frontline fire trucks, we've got a new ladder truck, and then you got a rescue squad on the front line. And then this is the only reserve apparatus, right?
So this engine would be the frontline engine. It is our second oldest one's a 2012 that runs out of Station 1 right now.
Okay.
So we have an apparatus that's already 13 years old that runs frontline. You're going to start running into those issues also. So that's why you want to get ahead of the game instead of keep waiting, so we don't run into the same issues we've had with all the maintenance issues with our older vehicles. Yeah, this engine is reserve right now, but
Well,
again,
certainly it's going to go to the front of the line.
exactly. So we're pushing at 15 years already with the front line at Station 1. Now you're waiting 4 years, it's going to push it even more. So you're going to be in the same boat we've been with maintenance issues over the last couple of years.
All right. All right, trustee, so we'll go back to the question. Letter I was approval to purchase a new Seagrave pumper at a cost not to exceed, well, it could exceed, because we've had that problem before, but the bidded amount, Seagrave was one of 2 bidders. Seagrave was the vendor to meet the majority of all the specifications written, as the chief said, at a cost of approximately almost $1.1 million. Chief, and again, for the record, I wasn't here for the bid opening. Was Seagrave the lowest bidder?
Yes.
They were. Good, very good. All right. Do we have a motion and a second to approve letter I the way this stands? No? Not at this time? Well, then I'm going to say the same, that letter I, for the moment, dies to purchase this apparatus at this time. Chief, I would recommend, and Trustee Cahill is your chairperson, please get together, and we can talk about a plan for this further and stuff then, too. And the same thing, well, I was actually handling the garbage contract as well, so if anybody has any questions on that, please let me know. And in the meantime, we have an agreement with them at this time, so there's nothing that needs to be adjusted. And because we took no action, unless anybody wants to recommend action in the future before September, please let me know. But otherwise, we do have a clause in our current agreement with Republic to extend this by 3 years. So thank you for your comments on that. Finally, did anybody have any unfinished business they want to talk about? Any new business? No? Can I get a motion then to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Time now is 8:23 p.m. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. Students, I know your schools always want a signature. Anybody up here can sign for you. Just come on up and we'll sign those agenda sheets.
Pictures are allowed, too.